everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, in person and virtually. We're glad you're going to spend the day with us today. I want to start today with a song, a little bit of a meditative practice for everybody. So I invite you to close your eyes, to take a few nice, slow, deep breaths, to feel yourself sink into the chair, and to allow this to become a holy moment.
You are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true and divine. Can you see the beauty you are? Blazing like a shining star. If only you could see what I see, the perfection of your divinity. You are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true and divine. I know that there are times when you doubt the effect of all you give out. Everyone who knows you agrees the love you give is your legacy. You are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true and divine. And I see it in everything you do. I see it in you. I see it in you. I see it in you. Are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. You are so
You are true, beautiful, and divine. What a good place to start recognizing that in each other. So put your hands together. Our Namaste practice is just an opportunity to really see the true, beautiful, and divine in the other, and to be seen that way. To be seen that way. So turn to somebody and just say, Namaste. I bless the divinity in you as you bless the divinity in me. Yes. So I wanted to start with that song today to just mix it up a little bit. We're going to mix it up a little bit as a reminder of who we truly are. And so it's August, and our theme has been revering nature. We've been exploring our true nature, the true nature of others, the true nature of life, nature that we love so much. And so now we wrap it up just by exploring the depth of our true nature and how we're just here to remember that. And how interesting it is that we complicate that. I'll speak for myself, how I complicate that all the time and then suffer as a result of it. And you recognize that? Yeah, right. It's so part of our human nature, right? And so we're really blessed today because we have Susan Niedt with us. She's a licensed practitioner in Princeton, and she's going to allow you to experience it even deeper, your own true nature. So those of you that are joining us virtually, check us out on our website, cslmorristown.org. We have all kinds of things happening, and I'm so grateful that we're able to have things in person. Today, Kat Roman is facilitating the sound bath. That's what you see over there. So we're going to do that from 12:45 till 2, and we're going to have that again when we do our wellness fair. We're planning a Brookside wellness fair on October 1st. Put it in your calendar. We're really working on getting the information out there. On that table over there, there is a letter about the wellness fair. There are sign-up sheets if you want to be a vendor, and there are sign-up sheets if you want to be a presenter. So all of it is first come, first serve. It gets approved by the committee, and we're just incredibly grateful to all of you who are volunteering, especially Jean. She's kicking it. If you have any questions, ask Jean or me, and we will do our best to answer you. So it's also September next week. So that means first Friday we have the Healing Circle with Gail Belluardo at 7 o'clock in person. And Vern is here, and Vern has been a very big part of not only our AA meetings on Thursdays online still, right? But also the men's group, and they're meeting on the 10th this month, next month because of the holiday. And next week you have a special treat because I'm away, and Susan and Lori will facilitate the celebration. All right, so pick up the flyers. They're all over here because I'm offering a new class that was postponed. It's happening the end of September, so some of you might be interested in that. All right, so let us treat, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes and just hear these words as if they are your own. So when I say me, my, I'm not talking about myself. I'm really speaking from and to the higher self in each and every one of us, which is that true, beautiful, divine essence of who we are. So in this moment, as I would draw my attention from the outer world and bring it to the inner world, I realize the difference. Yet they are one. And I am reminded to always go to that source, that infinite well of love and grace and peace and harmony within my own heart, my own spirit. And to experience a holy communion, to remember the sacredness of all life. And then to give it expression, whether it's in my relationships, whether it's in my work, whether it's in my community, with my health and well-being, or with my abundance. life is ever reflecting back to me, where I get to not only remember who and what I really am, but how I get to live that and express that. Knowing that the more I do, the more comes back to me, because there is this law of circulation that is ever leveling me up into a greater understanding of what life is, who I am, and how I am. And so today I am grateful to remember my true nature and the simplicity of that, and how the more I practice, the more it becomes my experience. I'm grateful for this spiritual community and every beautiful soul that is a part of it, past, present, or future. Grateful for the space we get to meet in, and that we are here today together. And so it is.
And so it is.
So, I think, yes. So those of you who read the blurb, in the blurb it says this, talks about what if we could put on these glasses and we would see life from a place of truth. So I'm kind of imagining it's like 3D glasses, right? So imagine that you have these 3D-ish glasses that when you put them on, you see right now, my view is a little blurry, I can still see you shining, but when I put these on, I see life differently, right? So imagine that you have a pair of glasses and you can put them on, and the moment you put them on, you see absolute truth. You see people's divinity, their true nature. No matter what they look like on the outside, no matter what they've done or what they're doing, you immediately see their true nature. Or let's say that you're watching CNN or Fox News and you put on those glasses and all of a sudden you can see through all that world of effect information and see the truth. I truly believe that's what it means to be on a spiritual path. And I also know from myself that no matter how much I get lost, which I do all the time, is that once I step back and say, wait, there's always something bigger. There's always a greater truth that wants to shine through. There's always something greater, deeper, more beautiful, more magnificent that wants to be seen. I believe that that's our responsibility if we're on a spiritual path, especially if we think we're so spiritual. Especially when we think, well, they're not very spiritual, right? Because the truth is, spirit is all there is. And so it's our interpretation, and it's important to work with that interpretation because it's just based on what I see and what I believe, which is either expanded and truth-focused because I'm focusing on cause with capital C, or it's limited and it's based on lies, limiting beliefs, interpretation, conditioning, my experience, and it wants to be seen in a different light. Or at minimum, to just be accepted and be made peace with. So I have found in the last years that the whole COVID era has really flipped everything upside down. It seems like we are just surviving, treading water, trying to get through the day with all the information. Of course, we know the internet has made a big difference, right? The availability of the news and how that's so divided. Do you think it's possible that we're so divided as a nation, as a world, because inside we were divided? We know in our teaching, as within, so
Without.
And we forget all the time. We make it about the without. We create a story around it. We divide, we separate, we go good, bad, dark, light, high, low, right, wrong, and we stay there. We get stuck there. I know I can get stuck there. And so what I have really been working with is how do I walk that line? Not denying what's going on in the world, but remembering spiritual principles, embodying them, living them, expressing them, seeing them, working with them, and demonstrating them. That's the constant question, right? And so I know for myself that when I'm living in that realm of effect and I'm letting the world tell me who I am, that I'm exhausted, I'm stressed, I'm much more anxious. But I also know that when I put those glasses on and I go back to the well and I declare the truth and I choose to make a difference in the healing journey that is taking place, that I tap into this infinite well of energy and life and creativity and joy. And that's what I'm here to bring, to express, to live. And so we've been talking about nature a lot. And when I look at nature, when I'm out in nature, which I am a lot, because it really sustains me, and I know many of you feel the same way. Nature doesn't fight. Nature just kind of goes with the flow. Put some concrete over those bushes, crack, comes right through there. And we may look at nature and see that death and destruction, but it just goes with the flow. It just gives life somewhere else, right? I was recently watching an interview with how Native American tribes are working with fire instead of against it, because they say it's gonna happen. It's been happening since the beginning of time, right? And so they're finding more sustainable ways to work with nature instead of working against nature. So think for a moment, close your eyes for a moment and just let yourself feel somewhere in a place in nature that really feeds you, that you really love. And ask yourself, what is its message? What is the message? Now open your eyes. I'm sure you could use a little more time, but we're going to do a meditation. But for now, what's the message that nature gives you?
Stay rooted.
Stay rooted. Stay firmly rooted in the soil of your being, right? What else?
The only constant is change.
The only constant is change. Don't we know that fall and winter are coming? Don't we know that winter comes after fall and not before? What else?
Be present.
Be present. What happens when we're really present in nature? We are nourished. I tell my guys in jail when I do the meditation, is like, I know you're in a beige hell, which is my least favorite color, I would say. Especially because it's all beige, right? With a few orange shoes and blue masks, maybe. I say to them, imagining being in nature is the same to your brain as actually being there. Scientifically, it's been proven that our brain lights up the same way when we're actually in nature or we're imagining it. So we can use our imagination to be nourished. We don't even have to go outside, right? What else do you get from nature that's a gift, a blessing?
To breathe.
To breathe. Darling, breathe. How powerful it is that there is a breath exchange with nature. That the trees are breathing out carbon dioxide and we breathe out oxygen. They need oxygen, whatever the way that works. We need the oxygen. They breathe out oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and there's an exchange. What? That's amazing, right? Have you ever thanked a tree and said, thank you for my oxygen? Imagine that, right? What else? Anybody else?
Gratitude.
Gratitude, yes. Something happens when we're in nature. All of a sudden, the burdens fall away and we're like, oh, wow. So what if nature becomes your guru, becomes your teacher? She is, you know. And she regenerates. She knows exactly how. She gives and gives and gives and gives. Those of you who are gardeners, maybe Some years are not as successful as others, but have you ever heard your garden say, your beanstalk say, I ain't giving no beans to you this year because you're just full of it. No, she just gives and gives and gives, right? So that's a message, that's a teaching that is so rich and can be so fulfilling. She recovers, she shines, she flows, she's resilient. So are we. We are no different than Mother Nature. We just forget. That's the truth of who we are. That we're so full, so rich, so abundant, so healthy, so resilient, so smart, so true. And we can call on that. We can rely on that as we navigate our way through the world today. I mean, you know, we could have been alive in the 1500s. Especially nice for women. So, when we drop this idea that we're limited or lacking or suffering or struggling, and we return to that center of our true nature, in that moment, we're made free. And in the moment we're made free, creativity can enter because there's no obstacle. And so this is where we start today. We start with this idea of, oh, am I remembering or am I forgetting? That's it. That's the only dance that's taking place. Can I just remember who I really am? Can I just remember my true nature? How would it be different if I remembered my true nature? When I'm struggling particularly and I cannot get there, I can ask myself, if I were there, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would I do differently? How would I show up for myself or anyone else differently? So I want you to have an experience with Susan as she guides us through a meditation, and then I'm going to come back and wrap it up, and we're going to listen to that song again. Because sometimes when we listen to a song twice, we hear something different, usually. And if we've had a shift in consciousness because we've been thinking about things in a different way, which I hope and I invited you to do, we hear it from a deeper place. And it can heal us in that moment. Susan!
Susan's like on cue.
Just want to make sure we're all here. I'm going to put the music on first so you can just start getting into the feeling. Can everybody hear this okay? Mm-hmm. Too loud? Can you still hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great. Before I begin, I want to read something that I found in the Science of Mind that just spoke to me. So as we get ready to go into that place of deeper remembering, just hear these words of Ernest Holmes with a little troward smattered in. Mm-hmm. To contemplate that divine life, which is at the very center of every man's life. This is the very essence of our practice. This is what we mean by remembering. It is an inward feeling, a silent sense of divine reality. The divine spirit is the limitless potential of human life. So let us sit and simply breathe. And as we hear the sound of the music, we know that God is omnipresent. So that is really God's voice, soothing us, reminding us, inviting us to come back home. So at the very center of our being is that consciousness of divinity, that love, that ever-present love. So this voice of God, touching us, holding us with love, like a mother's arms, that we remember our true divine essence, which is love. So I invite you to take your hands to your heart center and hold yourself in that space of love, knowing that God is omnipresent, that God and all of us are one. So you can express and experience that unity by holding that space and feeling that blessed beat, that heartbeat of God. Going back, remembering the peace that is ever present in this space of truth. And as we sit with our hands on our heart, I now invite you to consider the unity not just with God, but with each other. So get a feeling, a sense of your divinity expanding outward, embracing each one here, sending that love, which is our gift to do, which is our service to all kind, sending it outward. And interestingly, as you send it outward, it returns ever stronger. So feel that love coming back, knowing that presence, that divine sense of self. And now, as you can feel that light burning even brighter because of all the love that was sent out and returned, take a moment to feel that heartbeat again and feel that love within, feeling that presence, that divine presence of peace, of love, of light. And now expanding that horizon, that sense outward even further into the world and beyond, knowing we are all one with all things, seen and unseen, and let yourself go there, expand, feeling that lightness of being, and just be with that for a moment. As you are with that, as it is with the law, all that love that you put out there, allow yourself to receive, to be open to receiving this love, this divine love that is ever circulating, ever present. Feel that love in your heart and beyond. Knowing as you look at life, from within to without, all that you see is God's good expressed, not just in nature, but in all these wonderful ideas that have expanded our ability in the world to do, to be, to feel, to love. And now I invite you to just quietly bring it back to your heart center and be with that love and that voice of God caressing you. Just allow yourself to have this bath of love, of God expressing itself in, as, and through you. And just take a nice, deep, full breath of love. Feeling it touch, feeling it touch inside that inside, and then letting it go to release that, and very gently bring your arms back down to your lap and just be. Just be in this remembering. Just be still in this truth. And enjoy this place of deep remembering. And just stay there. Enjoy life. Enjoy this love expressed in, as, and through you. For a few moments until we continue.
So, what did you remember? Anybody? Just shout it out. What did you remember? Nothing?
Bliss is my natural state.
Bliss is your natural state. Some of it has no words, right? Because you kind of stepped away from your ego mind and you just went into your body, into your spirit. And sometimes that's a place of no language, right? So what are some other ways that you use to remember who you really are? What are some things that you do when you forget your true nature? Besides guided meditation? Breathe.
Affirmation.
Affirmations.
Call a friend.
Call a friend. Yes, right? Hey, please remind me. Yes.
Look at my notes.
Look at your notes. Yes. I'm a journaler, and sometimes I forget to look back, when I've had an amazing journaling session. Go back. I put little tags on them. Yes.
Go into nature, go back, like just go in nature.
Yeah.
Hiking or whatever.
Yeah, go into nature. Take a hike. Take a walk. Yes.
Spiritual reading.
Spiritual reading. Yeah, so everybody here already knows. You already know. You've already done it. And some of you maybe hundreds of times. And that's it. It's really that simple. It's to say, all right, I'm just going to put my proverbial glasses on for a minute or a day or an hour. I tend to need a day, at least a week, so I unplug on Fridays, which is wonderful. And it's also challenging because, I don't know, I know none of you suffer from being completely addicted to social media or your smartphones or your computers. I think I may be the only one. Right? It's that addictive nature, right? I gotta check to see if you're a ping. Well, somebody texts me, I gotta respond right away because a minute from now is too late, right? The craziness sometimes that we feel with that. So on Fridays I unplug. I do a art Zoom with a friend of mine, but that's just when we get into our artist mode, right? So take times to just be silent and to just listen to that voice of the heart, that voice of our spirit that is ever there. It's so easy to dismiss it because it's usually really simple. Like, go take a walk. Oh, talk? It can't be that easy. Yes, it is. Right? So the beauty is that all of you here, you already know. You already know how to be more steeped in remembrance. You already have a toolkit. You already know what to do. And if you don't call a practitioner, for goodness sake, we have a few, plus CSL has thousands of them, right? And so what I mean to say by this is that your spirit, your soul already knows because it's free, right? It's the ego part of our nature, which we will not get rid of as long as we're in this body, that tends to limit, make it more difficult, resist a little bit more, fight a little bit more, be more righteous about their opinions, sees it all in a different way. But the idea is to align and to remember that alignment. To slow down, to breathe, as some of you said, to really pay attention, like, oh, that's so interesting. I just noticed a lot of fear, or I just noticed how joyful I felt when I was talking to a friend, or I noticed my anxiety, or I noticed my peace after my meditation. To just have more of that noticing and hold more attention around our noticing, because that gives us information on who we are in that moment, who we want to become, what's happening. And sometimes it means we don't have to do anything. Just notice. We want to remember the true nature of everything, everywhere, and everyone all the time, and allow our forgetfulness to just have that be what brings us back. I know when I forget, sometimes I judge myself for that. That shuts it all down. But if I say, oh, I forgot, let me remember. It's a different experience, right? To have a little more compassion. Not just for ourselves and our forgetting, but I think that the world is a bit asleep and a bit hypnotized and has forgotten how sacred life is. Maybe that's all that's happening. So if we each remember and we live in that remembrance, then we can have a different experience, and it can be our drop in the infinite ocean of life. And so that's the invitation, right? To see more clearly, to be more clear, to remember, to go to the well and nourish ourselves, to reach out for others in case we forget. And that's true individually and collectively, that invitation. That we forget and then we remember, we forget and then we remember. And if we make it a dance instead of a fight or a struggle, it becomes something different. So I would like you to close your eyes again. I'm going to play that song again. I'm going to invite you to hear it in a different way, to let it sink a little bit deeper, to let it feed you, nourish you, remind you who you really are.
You are beautiful, true and divine. You are beautiful, true and divine. When I look in your eyes, I see you shine. You are beautiful, true and divine. Can you see the beauty you are? Blazing like a shining star. If only you could see what I see, the perfection of your divinity.
And as we sit in this place of remembering, I speak these words of truth, knowing that there is only one life. And that life is omnipresent. It is the presence of love in all things seen and unseen. It is the divinity within each one here. And if this light is omnipresent, which it is, then it is forever shining, and it is. And each one here knows this, feels this, trusts this, believes this, because it is the only one, the one truth. And it is the truth that sets each one free. The light of love ever shining within and without. So as we all sit in this beautiful place of remembering, we are touched and we feel the blessings, the ever-present blessings of all life. And as we move forward from this moment on, we carry this light and we let our light shine forward in service to God and to all kind. And we allow this place of remembering a bigger space in our heart. And when the forgetting comes, we remember that that is simply an error of thought. And we let it go. Because we know the truth. We feel the love. We know this life that is ever expanding is our life. We know the peace that is ever present is our peace. And we know this omnipotency, this one amazing power, is our power to express. And it is our power to remember. And it is our creative power for good. So we are all powerful creators for good. That what we see in the world is the truth. What we see in the world and beyond is love, ever present in all things. What we see in the world is only good. Because God is the creative power for good, acting in, as, and through each of us. That we can express this holiness in all that we do. This is our gift to ourselves and the world and beyond. And so it is.
So it is.